Sorry about the background mess. It's been kind of busy. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I haven't been on my channel for a little bit because my family and I went camping. So I want to talk to you guys about camping. Do you got any kids camping? I don't know. Like the boondock kind of camping without a nice RV. So to start off with, I grew up camping a lot, like the kind of camping like off-grid camping, tents, shitting in a hole, that kind of camping, cooking on a fire. It's poor people vacations, so I grew up without a lot of money. Check that. Yeah, make sure there's nothing embarrassing on my nightstand over there. And so my husband and I, we went through some rough stuff in the springtime. So we're spending a lot of family time together. We're trying to, you know, repair some things and that sort of a thing. And so he really likes camping. And I've always told him, like, because I grew up poor, I always went on, camping trips, that sort of thing, and kind of like hated it because. So I'm going to start off with that, but in the end, there's a little gold nugget for everyone. So I've had a lot of experience camping. The reason why I don't like camping now isn't because I didn't have enough camping. It's because I had so much camping and roughed it so much that I really grew to dislike it. So, like you get comfortable, you get these little creature comforts, you get your shower, your bed, your shelter, air conditioning, all of those things, freedom from mosquito bites and biting flies, cooking on a stove. Oh my God, there's so many things. And so my kids are kind of like old enough now where taking them camping like that isn't a nightmare, because when they're preschoolers or toddlers, or babies, it's a nightmare because they're just running all over the place and you're just panicking and there's cliffs and blah blah blah. But now they're old enough to where it's kind of like there's no excuse. And so my husband's been like, come on, let's do camping. Come on. He really likes it. And I'm like, oh, fine. Okay, let's do this. We'll go have some family time, some nature time. And the nature part I absolutely love. We went to, so North and South Dakota, but South Dakota has Badlands National Park and then Custer State Park, which is absolutely gorgeous. And they've got like the Black Hills is really beautiful. Badlands is cool. It was way too hot. But kind of what I'm getting at here is I had some realizations, some remembrances on this camping trip. So first off, if you have kids, I've got 3 of them. Camping is absolutely exhausting. Like off-grid camping is absolutely exhausting for the adults. You're basically just you sit down for a cup of coffee and that's about it. And then you're cooking, you're cleaning, emptying the shit bucket and scrubbing it. Yeah, TMI. No, this is the reality of the situation though for that kind of a camping. But I did have some realize. So character building is really important. Like, since I've become an adult, I've really leaned into embracing physical discomfort, because so exercising really hard. I've experimented with the cold exposure, things like that. There's this term hormesis that I learned where it's like regarding biology, where something that causes damage enough to where it doesn't harm you but makes you stronger, that kind of thing. So when you work out and you build muscle, so being outside is uncomfortable. Like camping can get really uncomfortable. The flies biting you, helping out with the camp duties, that sort of a thing is really good for your kids as far as character development. Embracing the nature, appreciating the nature. We came back from this trip. We live in this world as parents where we have to battle devices and screens and games all the time, and it's so frustrating. So when we were camping, it was just like, no. Some of the car ride, they could have some device time, but the rest, it was just like, no, we're putting it away. And so we came back, and today, my oldest and my youngest were like outside making a terrarium just all on their own. So it's gotten them reinterested in nature. And as a kid, I was really into that. We camped all the time. So really appreciating looking under rocks for bugs and that kind of a thing. So the character building aspect for your kids is so cool. And don't get me like, if so I'm glad that my husband pushed me to do this, because I would totally be like, can we just like rent an RV or something, because it's comfortable. But no, it's good. It's good to be uncomfortable. It's good to really learn to appreciate the beauty of nature. The other thing I want to talk about as far as camping and taking my kids camping, and even just for myself, because it's been a while since I've done that. So before my husband and I had kids, we would do that a lot, and it's a lot easier to off-grid camp without children. Let me just tell you that. Appreciating the luxuries that we have, like the running water. You know, because when you are that kind of camping, the little poop buckets that you can buy, which is what we had, you're very up close and personal with everybody's business, if you know what I mean. And so you really appreciate your toilet. You know, and in a lot of the world, it's still a reality where people don't have access to these basic luxuries, like a freaking flushing toilet and a sink to wash your hands when you're done, a sink to wash your dishes, a stove to cook your food, a counter. Like, you know, you're like trying to cook dinner out camping, and you have this little fold up table, and so like all these little things become like, whoa. So a real appreciation for all of these luxuries that we have. And I came back and I find myself like being more careful with how much water I use. So it's a really great reminder of how lucky we are in even just to have access to these amenities in our house. How much waste you're using, that kind of a thing, you know? Not having access to your garbage can and your, you know, large garbage bin that you roll down to the curb. It's a really cool way to think about things in those terms. And I think that really it's all about balance. So everybody's got, so when I was a kid, it was about environmentalism and conservation. That term's been hijacked, and now it's just climate change, climate change, climate change. We need to be looking at conservation and environmentalism as a whole, and living, like taking a week or whatever to live in that way, where you're just on the land, is a really good way to get back in touch with that. So where we went, thankfully, it's like when you go up north where I live, it's a really humid, there's a lot of lakes where I live, really, you know, lots of mosquitoes. Oh my God, those suck to camp in. But when you can go somewhere a little further west and it's drier, it's a really nice way, because I'm not going to do the mosquito camping. Oh no, oh no. But there's less bugs when you go a little drier, because you're still roughing it. You're still faced with, you know, biting flies and that sort of thing. So camping, I was not, had my husband not pushed me, I probably would not have done this, but it's a good reminder. So if you're thinking about it, maybe give it a try. Conservation, all of those different things, character building. It's good for kids. Okay. We have to be careful as parents right now. We really have to be careful. So like there's the social media thing, and my kids, they don't have it yet. I don't want them to ever have it. They will eventually, I'm sure. But the devices, the games, like the screen addiction is just, it's a real thing. And oh man, we need to be careful with that one as far as parents, our generation, and making sure that our kids get into nature, get away from the screens, really start to appreciate that nature. Because I mean, this is our lifeblood. Keeping nature healthy is a requirement for us to be healthy as beings. And the massive push for consumerism and you know, the way that our culture is being pushed in this direction of consumerism and away from this appreciation of nature. We need to be careful about that. That's all I got for now. Have an awesome day.